Some years ago, there was an old missionary up at the monastery that I was talking to, and he told me the story of when he was a young man and was at school, and they had one of the missionary priests come and talk to them. And the priest spoke about his work missionary in the islands in the Pacific, and in particular in the Gilbert Islands in Kiribati. And he's sitting there listening to the priest, and he's thinking, this sounds boring. So after the talk, he went up and he asked the priest, he said, "What do you do?" And the missionary priest said, "Oh," he said, "it's wonderful." He said, after you've done your work for the day, you go down and you can lie on the beach and look at the stars," he said. So anyway, years later, the chap had himself gone into the order, the MSCs, as a missionary, and he was posted to Kiribati. And so he arrived, and he said it was hot, because Kiribati is right on the equator. It was hot and hot and hot. And after his day's work, he's in the presbytery in bed, and he said he couldn't sleep because it was hot, and he couldn't sleep because the choir were practicing in the church, and they were singing and laughing and making a lot of jolly noise. They do like to sing in Kiribati. And then he remembered the words of this old missionary priest from when he was younger, who said, "It's wonderful, you go lie on the beach and look at the stars." So he thought, I'll do this. So he took his sheet and he wandered outside. He said, there was no beach. There was a seawall, concrete seawall. So he lay on the seawall, and then he said the mosquitoes were so thick, he had to pull the sheet up over his head, but he couldn't see the stars. So that's the story. It's not all beer and skittles in the missions. My name's Sean Donovan. You're watching Mission Alive from the MSC Mission Office. The old priest who told me that story was Albert Yelds. And I guess it is a funny story, but it's also just underlines that in the missions that's sort of relatively easy things, but there are challenges. When I went to Kiribati, I flew in from Nauru and arrived at the airport, and no one was there to meet me. So I sort of looked around and chatted to someone. I said, "Do you know where I can get to the MSCs? How do I get to the MSC?" "Oh, MS, I don't know. Do you know?" Staying. Finally, I said, "Father Yelds." "Oh, yes, we know Father Yelds." So they didn't know much about but they knew the person, and Father Yelds had been there for decades, by that time, and was well known by everybody. My purpose in being there was to oversee some renovations to one of our schools, Santa Maria College on Tarawa Island. And also we were planning to construct some new classrooms at that school. And so I was there to get the paperwork completed, basically, for that new structure. And also we were looking at some new classrooms at another school on Abamama Island, which is Chevalier College. So I also visited there. And then subsequently, a a lay missionary via the MSC Mission Office called Bob Sullivan, who is a builder, went over, and he spent at both places time to oversee the construction of these new classrooms, both at Santa Maria College and also at Chevalier College. The MSC Mission Office over the years has had many lay missionaries go to Kiribati and elsewhere in the world, both men and women, and they go for a 2 to 3 month period. And we sort of see that as a reasonable period for people to see if they can live that lifestyle, if you like, can survive. It can be a life-changing experience. It's certainly not for everyone. Most people who go learn so much from the local people, and it certainly changes their perspective on what to expect and value everything. It's not for everyone. We have had, I can think of one lady in particular who, after about a week, it was enough, and she couldn't take the lifestyle somewhat less than we might have in Australia. So some people who've gone as lay missionaries have gone on to religious life, some to the priesthood. Of recent years, of course, with COVID, there's been no travel, so that's curtailed our activities in that regard. But now things are opening up again. So perhaps next year, particularly once the prices of transport and airfares and so forth have come down, is something that people might consider. So if you go to our website, if you have the capability to go to our website, www.mscmission.org.au, mscmission.org.au, and on there you'll see one of the tabs is Donate. If you hover over that, it can bring up a list, and one of the options is Volunteer Your Time. And there's some more information there about what the sort of things are you can do and what the sort of expectations are and what the process is. And there should be a form there to complete, which you can send in, or you can write to us at our Post Office Box 177. Let me just get the address correct. Post Office Box 177, Kensington, New South Wales 1465, and just make an inquiry about lay missionaries, and we'll send you the form. And then you complete the form. It has some personal details of your parish priest for reference, another few details about your skills and experience and what you might have to offer. And then the next step from that is that we have an interview just to ask a few more questions about yourself and what you're doing at the moment. And then following that, we contact our confreres around the world. And as similarly with our projects and matching money to projects, this is the same sort of thing. We're trying to match a skill that you might have to a need that might be in any part of the world. So if you go to somewhere, then you can be of use, and you can find something that you can do there. And that could be any number of things. It could be assisting with computer work. It could be English as second language teaching. It could be plumbing. It could be building, like Bob, for example. And any number of things, whatever your skills are, if we can match them to the need in the area, and then you can make your arrangements to travel there. We make arrangements with the people at the other side to accommodate you, and then you can spend some time in the missions and experience the life of the missions. There's no guarantees with any of these things, but it certainly can be a life-changing experience and can be something to consider. So thank you for joining me today on Mission Alive. We'll be back again tomorrow with another exciting instalment. You've probably seen Father's videos from India. He's been able to connect with a couple of them, so that's great. And we look forward to seeing more. He returns next week. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon.